afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Can I just have a show of hands or into the chat group? Maybe you can let us know where you're from. Are you taking your lunch breaks to join us at the moment? So that we have a sense of where you're from. We will start the session at about 12:35. I appreciate your patience. Oh, Joanna raised her hand. So Joanna, you're currently taking a lunch break? So maybe as before we start, in 1 minute time, may I have a show of hands? How many of you are caregivers? Just maybe you can use the button at this thing to just raise your hands to let's have a sense of how many of you are actually homemakers. Oh, I have Jaxia, Alexandra Weave, Fatena, Michelle, Fazila, Simline, Fanwei, and Joanna Yap. Thank you so much for responding to me. And I hope you are all excited to join today's session that we have today, which is called Uplifting Women in the Workforce. This is actually our first webinar, and I really look forward to sharing more about how we can support all of you. My name is Delia, and I'm from NTUC Women and Family. But before we start the session, may I just inform you that recording will be made for this session. And let me just share my slides with you. We have quite an exciting session today. And with us, I'm so glad that we have NTUC LearningHub, as well as NTUC E2I to support us in this supporting women's first step back to the workforce. And I really look forward to all your participation. And with us today will be our Mr. Daniel Lee, who will share about how to be a HR professional. And as well as we will have Mr. Brian Wong from E2I to share about coaching placement support with us. And also to share about Skills Future Credit. And then finally, I will end with sharing about what are the job opportunities from progressive employers, what you can look out for, how could you apply for it, and we'll end the session with a Q&A session from all our partners. Without further ado, let me share about why we are supporting women's first steps back into the workforce. And at NTUC, we are so excited to let you know that we have NTUC LearningHub, NTUC Women Family, and NTUC E2I, and how we are created this ecosystem to support career aspirations of women with webinars, mentorship program, place and train opportunities from NTUC LearningHub, career coaching from NTUC E2I, and together all of us have come together to provide you with what we call hybrid progressive career fairs to really support you. So my name is Delia again, and I'm from NTUC Women and Family. And what is NTUC Women and Family? We're really an initiative of the NTUC. We really want to support the career aspirations of working women by really providing you with choices in your career options that will enable you to manage your caregiving needs as well as your careers, ensure that we work with progressive employers to ensure protection at your workplaces, that will have employers that will have progressive work practices to that is against gender discrimination, fair hiring practices, and also to prevent workplace harassment, as well as fair and progressive employment in the organization, to give you flexible work arrangements and also work-life harmony so that you can balance both. And at the end of the day, what we hope to achieve is really to maximize your potential so that you can able to reach for the stars and able to balance your work and family life. So as you've seen, NTUC Women is actually the voice for working women. We can see that we've actually been in the media quite a bit, but I think more importantly, what I want to emphasize is we are really here for you, we want to listen to you, and also we want to be able to advocate for you to create a fair organization within, to work with progressive companies as well, so that there'll be less discrimination, and also to be able so that everybody will have work-life harmony within the organization. So without further ado, may I invite Mr. Daniel Lee, who's from NTUC LearningHub, to share about what it means to be a HR professional. Daniel, please.
Thank you, Delia. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Just give me a second. I shall share my screen. All right. Okay. Can you guys see my screen right now? Maybe you can show it in the chat. How many of you can see my screen? Be a HR professional. Everyone can? Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us on this session. But first and foremost, I'd like to say a few words of appreciation to all the women out there. It's never easy. I always remember when I was P5, primary 5, my mom was actually working initially, but because of my caregiver, they have to shift to a further place. So in the end, my mom has to give up her work to take care of the children at home. And after we have grown up, when given an opportunity to go back to the society, she was actually hesitant because she felt that she can no longer fit into the society, going back to the society to contribute back to the society. So this, what I want to appreciate is that, yeah, it's actually not easy. Given the fact that I know I was very mischievous when I was very young, you see. So yeah, it's seriously not easy for my mom to take care of me and my brother. Okay, but today I'm sharing with you about how are you going to become a HR professional, how you can be a HR professional, all right, and how is it relevant for HR professional versus a homemaker versus a housewife, all right. But before I go forward, let me give an introduction of what NTUC LearningHub or NTUC is. All right. Now, hope you guys can see my screen. All right. NTUC, we are actually a social enterprise. All right, and we actually have around we work very closely with unions, and we have actually a lot of associations with some big organizations out there. I mean, whenever we talk about NTUC, the first thing that we always know is fair price, right? Yeah, even for myself, I purchase my groceries with fair price as well. And we have always things like NTUC income, whereby we are looking into the insurance part of things, NTUC health, all right, for our elderly care or even nursing homes, first campus for young kids, all right, and we have in total 10 social enterprises within NTUC enterprise itself. And NTUC LearningHub, I'm glad to say that we are part of the family, the social enterprise family, all right, whereby we look into the training needs of all our workforce, be it from the lowest, the bottom, the ground level, meaning to say those who are front facing in terms of clients, to all the way to the middle class. Yeah, we do come up with relevant and useful training programs for them. All right. Then, so NTUC Learning Hub actually corporatized in 2004. And since then, we have supported around 21,000 organizations with around more than 500, we came up with more than 500 courses, all in all in NTUC Learning Hubs, all right, to support the workforce. Because we want people to have better workplace, better salaries as well, okay? And as of now, we have actually achieved around 2.5 million of training places, okay, in the areas of like infocom, employability and literacy, business excellence, HR, healthcare security, workplace security and health, and even foreign worker training itself. Okay, so now without further ado, I always view that managing the workforce is almost the same as moms managing kids at home. I'm not sure whether you feel the same as well, because when we are talking about the well-being of our kids at home, it's almost like a HR thinking about the well-being of the organization. Now, let me share some statistics with everyone over here. Okay, in 2020, during the first year of COVID, MOM actually commissioned studies together with IHRP, okay, to find out what are the potential concerns in terms of HR community that it can come up from HR technology adoption. All right, we know after COVID happens, when I was actually chatting with a lot of our trainers, the consensus that we have is that because of COVID, it actually forces the organizations, the workplace, the whole environment, working environment, to advance maybe 10 or even 20 years in advance. Why? Because before COVID starts, we don't usually talk about having webinars. We don't usually talk about having virtual meetings or even virtual trainings. And because of COVID, all this starts to come in. And that's when a lot of organizations out there are looking at how to use technologies, all right, to be more, to allow the company to operate in a more effective and efficient manner. And that's where these technologies will affect, in one way or another, the manpower, the workforce within the organization. So this is exactly what they want to find out. And through this studies itself, it shows that in terms of HR roles, they did a total of 27 they did the studies on 27 HR roles. And out of this 27 HR roles, 8 of the HR roles are actually identified to be at high risk or displacement. All right, and this is where you can see things like associates, executive, all right, very administrative type of HR roles will be badly impacted because of HR adoption, technologies adoption. Okay, and the other piece of data that I would like to share is that what you can see over here in this graph is the kind of hiring that is happening over the past few months. And you can see over here at the top, all right, the hiring is a lot. But what I meant by showing this particular graph is that although the hiring is a lot, but out of 38% of all this hiring are actually administrative roles. And if we don't retrain and reskill this group of administrative staff, okay, they may face potential displacement because of the HR technology adoption. All right, and maybe just another couple of information to share. This is a common, what you call a common progression in terms of HR. All right, and that's why we, NTUC Learning Hub, wants to help our workforce train our workforce to take up position, so that they are able to take up positions of to be in a more strategic job role position per se. All right. And last piece of information over here, we all know GST is going to increase next year from the current 7 to 8 and eventually 9. All right. And if we are still looking at just normal administrative roles, these are the kind of salary ranges you may be looking at, and rest assured, it's definitely not going to be enough. All right, and that's why there is a need for us to think about how are we going to upskill ourselves so that we can actually take up a better salary position itself. All right, so far? Okay, so how are we going to help at NTUC Learning Hub? How are we going to help people, all right, to upskill themselves? Okay, and as a matter of fact, I always like to use this particular example. So, for example, I have, give me a second. Okay, I have, if let's say today I have a couple of job roles itself, like if I'm an engineer, I would most probably be able to go into an engineer-related position, right? But however, as compared to HR, I can go into HR position in various sectors, in various industries. So that's why I think especially for those who are thinking about mid-career or coming into workforce, this is one of the great opportunity out there that you can think about in joining, all right, through our program, after going through our program. Okay, for our program, okay, we actually partner with SHRM. This partnering with SHRM, in case people doesn't know, SHRM is actually a US HR professional body. All right, they have 300,000 over members globally. All right, so we actually partner with them to come up with some modules, and in total of 8 modules for WSQ to form a program called WSQ Diploma in HR. All right, and how did we come up with these 8 modules? Basically, we use the backdrop of the entire HR life cycle, employee life cycle, to design the 8 modules. All right. First, we look into when we talk about attraction within the employee life cycle. That means from the point when the individuals are being called for interviews, all right, being recruited, being onboarded. This is where we kickstart the whole entire employee life cycle. And we start off with strategic workforce planning program to teach, to train our learner how are they going to do workforce planning, how to ensure that the workforce planning or plan that they have worked out for the organization allows the organization to move forward in terms of their businesses in a more efficient and effective ways. Then along the way, there will be things like you need to know what are the best HR practices out there in the business world, and how do you implement? How are you going to get stakeholders managed? How are you going to manage stakeholders to get them to understand, to agree with you? Okay. The next thing, HR business partnering is definitely one of the key things that a HR has to do, because especially if you have the opportunity to go into large organizations, all right, you have to partner all the business units, because what you want is to value add to the business units to help them to build up their their workforce, to allow them to operate in a very, very effective manner. All right. And of course, when we talk about organizations, businesses, we want it to be done long term. And when you are talking about long-term success within the organization, you talk about how are you going to build your workforce. Build your workforce in developing talent. You need to identify the talents. You need to know who are the talents. How do you define them as talent? How do you understand them as high potentials? Okay, so these are the 4 modules that you will have to go through. Okay, then after that, after talent management, the other 4, we talk about how, after you identify a talent, you have designed their roadmap. You have designed how their career should go. Definitely in between each position or each role that the individual has to go through, there will definitely be learning gaps. And this is where knowledge of learning and development is important, because you need to build what we call, commonly known as, learning needs analysis for the organization, right? You need to help the organization to come up with the whole learning needs analysis, and that is also how you determine the learning budget for the year for the organization. All right. And the next piece is something that we are very particular recently, especially after COVID. We talk about employee engagement. We talk about how are we going to manage the organization's employee in terms of their mental well-being, right? Now, mental well-being is a keyword right now. Okay, so you must know exactly what is the thing that makes the employee stays within the organization. I think a couple of months back, or more probably 2 months back, there was an article stating that the healthcare sector are facing manpower constraints. All right. So even to the extent of paying them a higher salary, a lot are still leaving the healthcare sector. Why? Why is that so? And that is where HR comes in very, very strongly, very importantly, to identify this particular reason why they want to leave, even with a higher salary paid to them, right? All right. So, and part of that, that is where we move on to what we call total rewards philosophy. We talk about rewards, or we talk about compensation and benefits for the organization. Is it really just salary alone? No. There are many, many factors to compensation and benefits. Things like you invest in terms of learnings for the staff is also part of compensations and benefits. The organization prepare the laptops, the leave benefits that are being entitled for the staff. These are all parked under what we call total rewards philosophy. So a HR has to come in to identify this entire philosophy, this entire rewards framework, all right, so that the organization can pay people well, pay people good, pay people better, pay their staff better, all right? And last but not least, analytics is definitely the keyword nowadays in whatever we do, all right? We talk about how are we going to use data to identify what are important, what are the things to take note of, how are we going to talk about what you call use those data to drive certain HR practices. How are you going to use these data to convince the stakeholders, especially when you are talking about business partnering? All right. So just to give you a glimpse of 1 or 2 of the modules. So we start off with strategic workforce planning. Okay. So in this particular program itself, module itself, our trainers, they will actually be going through with you. How are you going to design? How are you going to go through an approach to design or implement or even administering the strategic workforce plan within the organization? For example, how are you going to identify what's the demand within the organization? Where are you going to get the supply? where are the gaps within the organization? How are you going to build synergies within the organization? All right. And eventually, with all these things coupled together, you will have to learn what are the strategies out there. When do you use things like what we call acquisition strategies? Meaning to say, acquisition strategies, it can be something like, especially for those big organizations, they will employ the services from those headhunting firms. So when do you decide to employ people through headhunting firms? When do you decide things like you adopt a development strategy? That means you identify talents within the organization. When do you do that? All right. So it's important for a HR person to know all these things so that you can actually contribute back to the organization in a very, very strategic manner rather than administrative manner. All right, so far? Now, the other module is like talent management. Is exactly what I mentioned just now. How do you define the talent within the organization? So, for example, for this particular module, we will actually, our trainers will be sharing with you what we call a 9-box performance model. How are you going to identify the talents within the organization into this 9-box? Because through this identification, you will know who are those high potential employees and how you should be developing them. All right, so that it can develop them to their fullest potential, and more importantly, to support, contribute to the organization or even the business in terms of their success. Okay, and that's where we will talk about how you formulate the whole entire competency models. We talk about how you draw out the whole framework, what are the tools and or methodologies that you can use, okay, to get all these frameworks up and running, okay, and eventually there's also a part whereby you need to communicate, you need to educate, okay, your business units within the organization on what is this talent framework that you have actually developed. All right. So these are the things that you will get to learn within these 8 modules. And eventually, these 8 modules will give you what we call a WSQ Diploma in HR. Okay. And maybe just, well, I know I shared quite a fair bit, but maybe just a show. Maybe you can type inside the chat. In terms of diploma, how long do you think a diploma that you need to take to use to complete a diploma program? Can any one of you share inside the chat? Anyone? Okay, let me see. Oh, chat function is not working. Okay, never mind. All right. So if chat function is not working, I shall share. All right, I shall share. Okay. Normally, from what we know, when you go for a diploma in polytechnics, it takes around 3 years, right? And for example, I have taken some other diplomas in the past. It takes around 1 year, 1.5 years. But for this particular diploma itself, it takes around 16 days. Okay. A lot of people will ask, 16 days? Is it a little bit too short? Okay, the reason why it's only 16 days is just because what we are talking about right now in terms of learners are working adults. What working adults want in terms of training programs are the practical, straight to the point kind of learning. Okay, we are not going to touch a lot of theories. In fact, we are going to have a lot of case studies discussion so that you are hands-on during the class to know exactly what you should be doing. And more importantly, our trainers are actually HR directors of some big organizations out there. all right? And they have all the knowledge and they have all the experiences to share with you life stories related to the modules that they are teaching. And that's why we can have the entire diploma completed within 16 days. All right, so far? Okay. And in terms of cost fee, the entire module, the entire program itself costs 6,520. All right. But this is before the funding from SSG. So after funding, if you are 40 years and below 40 years old, you are talking about 50% funded by SSG. Whereas if you're 40 and above, it's 70% funded by SSG. Okay. All right. But do not forget, you are able to utilize your SkillsFuture credits for this particular program itself. Okay. And on top of it, if you are NTUC union members, you can actually utilize your UTAP funding as well on top of all these fundings that is given to you. All right. Okay. Now, this particular program is only available in LHub. So the thing here is, what's important over here is that we want to build, to help everyone who wants to go into a HR line to have a successful career in HR, and more importantly, to be recognized as a HR professional. All right. So what you see over here is a WSQ Diploma in HR. And therefore, in NTUC LearningHub, what we want is to build a possible recognition pathways, qualification to be given to all our learners in this particular program. Okay, so as what I mentioned, once you have completed the 8 modules, all right, you will be given a WSQ Diploma in HR, locally recognized. All right. Now, if you are keen to have global recognition, all right, after taking up these 8 modules, you can proceed on by attending 8 online bridging assessments. Okay, each bridging assessment costs around $20. Okay, and each assessment is only 30 MCQ questions. And after you have done this 8 bridging, after you have completed successfully these 8 online bridging assessments, SHRM will confer you with this, what we call Advanced Diploma in HR. All right. Next, if just now what we have shared with you is not enough, it's okay, because we have layers with IHRP. For those who are not sure what is IHRP, IHRP is actually a national body, HR professional body in Singapore, okay, recognized. So if for those who have LinkedIn account, you can actually type IHRP-CP or CA. There will be a lot of this kind of individuals or professionals out there within LinkedIn itself. This is to show that they have certain HR qualification recognized in Singapore. Okay, so in IHRP, they have 4 levels of qualification. The first is certified associates. Okay, second is certified professionals. Third is senior professionals, and last but not least, called master professional. Okay, so for those who do not have HR experiences, after you have completed this WSQ Diploma in HR, you can apply for IHRP qualification at the certified associate level, which is the very, very basic member of in terms of qualification. Okay, for normal people who do not have this WSQ Diploma in HR, okay, in order to get a certified associate qualification, they will need to attend paper, what they call 2 assessment paper. paper N and paper A. Paper N is on employment laws. Paper A is on legislation laws. All right. So we have agreed with IHRP. They will recognize our WSQ diploma in HR. Okay. For those who has this diploma, they will not need to take both papers. They will have paper N, which is the one on employment laws, waived, and they will just need to complete paper A. And once they complete paper A successfully, they will be conferred with this qualification called IHRP Certified Associates. All right. But for existing people who are currently IHRP certified members, let's say, for example, you are certified professionals or you are currently a senior professional, you can still take our diploma in HR because every 3 years, there is a renewal for all these members. Okay. You need to clock at least 45 hours of continuous professional development. Okay. And that is where IHRP will recognize you taking up this particular program itself as part of your waiver for CPD hours requirement. Okay, so this is the kind of pathways that we are trying to build for anyone who are interested to continue or to join the HR industry. Okay, because we value everyone, we want you to have this recognition to help you to spur your HR career onwards. All right. Now, for those who are currently still not in the workforce, you are still thinking whether what are the opportunities out there. The other thing that I can or NTUC Learning Hub can support this group of learners after when they enroll for our WSQ diploma. Okay, NTUC Learning Hub will be providing these services for everyone. First, professional photo shoot. We all know nowadays impression counts. All right, so that's why even when you are talking about your resume, the photos on your resume counts as well. All right, so that's why we will help you with a professional photo shoot at a subsidized payment. I think normally for a professional photo shoot, we are talking about $50 over. Okay, but for this one, individual will just need to pay $7.50, $7.50. All right, now we will also support you to guide you in terms of your resume writing. Okay, especially for those who has never been in HR jobs, you want to contextualize your resume to something that is suitable for a HR position. We will support you with that. Okay, we will also prepare learners for their interviews. We will have senior HR professionals to coach them, to coach you, to guide you on how to prepare your interview or how to do the sharing during the interview itself. Okay, and of course, we work very closely with E2I, all right, to do job matching services. Okay, and more importantly, currently we are running this particular program called Career Conversion Program for Human Capital Professionals. Okay, this is a 4 months place and train program. What we meant by place and train, meaning to say, NTUC Learning Hub will work with potential clients, with our potential clients as your potential employees. All right, we will surface your resumes to all these potential employers. All right, let them have a look, let them consider, and you may be called for interviews to be placed under this career conversion program. Once you are placed on this career conversion program, what is going to happen? You are going to be, once you are placed successfully, you are going to be an official employee of the company, all right, that placed you, all right? And then, more importantly, for the first 4 months of the program itself, you will be mentored by our trainers. mentor will work with you to identify a HR project that you have to complete within 4 months. All right. And eventually, once done, you will continue to proceed on with your employment within the organization. Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm clear over here. For this particular program, once you are being placed within the organization, what it means is that the organization is going to identify you as their actual employee, okay, with at least 1 year of employment. So what we hope is that you do well for the program, you do well within that 1 year, they will continue they will extend your service as an employee within the organization. All right. And last but not least, in NTUC Learning Hub, we have this thing, what we call Career Agility Hub. It is a platform, it is an application, or it can be on your phone. What this particular application does is really to help you identify your learning gaps. All right. Once you go into this application, you will enter your profile into the application, and you will identify what are your ideal jobs that you are looking out for. They will, based on the AI within the application, they will identify what are your learning gaps, what are the programs that you need to go. It will help you filter the kind of training programs that you have to go. You don't need to keep thinking, should I go for this program? Should I go for that program? And it's on a subscription basis, but for the first year, all right, your subscription will be FOC. All right, so far? So I hope I have shared quite a fair bit in terms of how NTUC Learning Hub can help you to embark onto a HR professional role or join the HR industry itself. Okay, so that's all I have to share with everyone today. Over to you, Delia.
Thanks so much, Daniel. Thank you for sharing. I think there was a question from one of them asking in the chat group whether this will be a classroom or online lesson.
Thank you for the question. This particular program is structured. Okay, we have 3 variations of this structure. We can do it all 8 modules to be face-to-face, which is classroom. Okay, we can do all 8 modules to be online lessons, and we can have a mixture of both face-to-face and online. I hope that answers. Project required to submit. I believe you are referring to project for the career conversion program. The submission in terms of project is actually to present to your employers. All right, is to present to your employers to let your employers assess in that sense. Then, of course, because it's a funded program, we need to update the funding body. What is the project that you have done and how did it fare in that sense? I hope that answers. All right. When is the diploma starting? We have started the run long time ago, since March. All right. But don't worry, we are always having new batches, new cohorts starting. You can approach. Maybe let me share the QR code one more time. Give me a second. Okay, one way is you can always click onto this QR code, find out from our WhatsApp chat group. Okay, definitely our sales consultant will be linking up with you, all right, to share with you more information. Or the other way, I think my colleague Joelle, she has already entered some of her contacts as well within the chat group itself. All right. Okay, so you can actually find out from them when is the schedule, when is the next schedule coming out. They will be more than glad to support you with all these queries. All right, so far?
Thank you, Daniel. So I just like to
Yeah.
take the question by Fatima. The payment for diploma done in installments. Basically, for the course fees, as mentioned by Daniel earlier, you are able to use SkillsFuture to offset. If let's say you have not enough SkillsFuture to offset the balance, then you can also tap on UTAP, which is NTUC Union membership. For above 40, that's $500 for this year. Is based on previously the government has raised the amount. It was 250 for actually everyone, but for above 40 this year, you will actually have $500 of UTAP amount to use until the end of this year. So after SkillsFuture and UTAP with 50% of the balance, you can pay via PayNow or credit cards. Based on installment, right, it depends on whether you are going for a full schedule of 8 modules or you can do it modular. So there's option to take up a full schedule of 8 modules together plan, or you can choose to take 8 modules modular basis, like maybe 1 month, 2 modules when the schedule fits you. So you can actually reach out to us or Kenneth to actually find out more about the schedules and the course fees and how you want to do the payment. So I'll leave my contact details in the chat group.
Okay,
thank you.
I have 2 questions over here. I think I'll take these last 2 questions and then we move on to the next portion of this webinar first, because there's another Q&A portion at the end of the whole nearer to the end of the webinar itself. All right. I have one question here that, as in, you have a diploma in HR from SHRM and have an employment gap. Currently returned to workforce in HR and felt there's a need to upgrade. Definitely. As such, do you recommend to take a WSQ Diploma in HR, or is there another course? I'm not sure when you have completed this diploma in HR from SHRM, but I would say that personally at this current moment, you may want to think about taking up this diploma. You may not want to think about taking up the whole diploma in HR based on the whole 8 modules, but you may want to be more selective out of the 8 modules, which are the individual modules that you are more keen to go. Because, for example, like what I said, I'm not sure exactly what is your diploma in HR all about. I suspect it's a very generic HR program, but I would suggest you may want to be clear in terms of, in HR, what do you want to focus on? Because within HR itself, there's always different functions like L&D, talent management, there's business partnering. So you may want to think about focusing on one of the modules, 1 or 2 of the modules. Is actually dependent on you. And definitely, I think there's always a need to upgrade, not just for you, it's even for myself as well. All right. Then another question is, completed diploma in HR and higher diploma with SHRM. You will need to meet someone regarding your next step in your career path. I think this question most probably it will be suited to more of our next speaker later on. So maybe we can hold on to that question. All right. Is a diploma in HRM course from SHRM. All right. Like what I mentioned just now, the program that we are running is called WSQ Diploma in HR. Okay. And this is a program that we have partnered with SHRM, what you call materials in the program itself, infused into the program. All right. But the SHRM Advanced Diploma that I'm talking about, okay, it is an extension from our WSQ Diploma, because you just need to attend 8 bridging assessments to achieve or to attain the Advanced Diploma in HRM from SHRM. All right, I hope I have answered. So maybe we hold on to the thoughts. If you have further questions, we can proceed on with the next segment of the webinar. All right, over to you, Delia. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
Sure.
I'm sure you're wondering whether is this really the course for you, or is this something that you want to pursue? So maybe we'll let Mr. Brian Wong from E2I to also share more about, what kind of career coaching support that he can give you, and also whether you can utilize your Skills Future credit. So Brian, over to you to share more about this exciting thing about how you can help our women.
Thank you, Delia. Thank you. Okay, a very good afternoon, everyone. Glad to see so many of you over here. And yes, by all means, continue to use the chat feature as I do my sharing as well. And otherwise, just to introduce myself once again, my name is Brian Wong. I'm from E2I. Myself, I'm a Skills Future advisor, which is why later on, I'll be sharing a quick segment on Skills Future credit. Okay, so first of all, E2I. So E2I is an initiative under NTUC basically to support this nationwide manpower and skills upgrading initiatives. So to put it in layman's term, E2I, we are like the bridge between company and individuals. So for companies, E2I provide manpower, solutioning, training needs, productivity solutions as well. So for individuals, what do E2I do and what can E2I provide you? Okay, so this is where I'll be sharing with you the services that E2I provides for individuals. Okay, and as well, Skills Future credit. So in case you're wondering, how much credit do I have? How do I use it? Can I combine with government subsidies to get more, more cost fee discounts? So to say, this is where I will share with you the tips to stretch your credit and make it last longer and probably take up more expensive courses. Okay. So, of course, what does E2I do for individuals? Basically, E2I has an extensive network of about 5,000 partners, which includes labor movement, industry associations, training providers, government agencies, and also community partners. So what E2I does specifically for individuals using the extensive network is that the career coaching services that E2I provides helps the individual to expand their job search resources, okay, to matchmake you with the right employer. And of course, inform you of the labor market that's out there right now. And in the second one, skills upgrading, E2I also develops training programs specifically for individuals to actually upskill and boost your employability in terms of employability skills workshops, such as how to write better resumes, how do you ace your interview, which I'll be sharing with you later on as well. And the last one, career guidance. Career guidance is, in short, career coaching. It is an advisory session whereby you can develop greater awareness about yourself, your interests, your motivations, what is important to you in the job at this current juncture. And of course, recognize what kind of barriers and strength do you possess between you and that desired job. Okay. So for career guidance, to expand a bit further on this third point, it doesn't matter how long we have been working. It doesn't matter whether we are now working or not working. Each time, whenever we want to write up a resume, do a job search, ace or interview, it is always challenging and sometimes stressful. So this career coach, think of him or her as your support partner who wants to help you, guide you, and of course, help you to reach your potential and reach your desired career goals. So that career coach will help you to gain better clarity about yourself as well as the landscape out there, especially for some of us who have stopped work for a while. What is the employment, the industry landscape out there? And with the first point, helping job seeker as well to close that skills gap. Skills gap, things like what kind of qualification do you need? What kind of technical expertise do you need? Do you need the license between you and your desired job? And the second one, of course, as I mentioned earlier on, even if you're working now and you ask me to write a resume, it will be challenging for me as well. So this job search tools, your employability skills, resume writing, interview, managing an interview, networking, negotiating better salary package, things like this. E2I career coaches can also come in to refer you to these relevant complementary workshops. And for the third point, this resilience, this soft skill aspect, the mindset aspect, how do we have that correct positive mindset, that resilience, that adaptability needed in a job search? No, that career coach will also help you to inculcate that into you as well. Okay, so if you're wondering, these career coaching services, where can I find them? Where can I get started? So in E2I, there are actually two venues, one at E2I West. So you have been to IMM, you have been to Jurong East, no? You have noticed that there's a Devon Nair Institute just right next to IMM, linked by this link bridge. Okay, so the first venue is at Devon Nair Institute. And the second one is at this HDB Toa Payoh HDB Hub. Okay, so if you're interested, don't just walk in and then find a career coach. Try to call them, or in fact, scan the QR code that you are seeing now in front of you and make an appointment with them. Okay, so I'll leave you to take a snapshot of this, or in fact, if you want, you can actually scan the QR code right now. Okay, so this, whether is it done via Zoom or face-to-face, this one you can probably check when the career coach assigned to you gives you a call. But otherwise, this career coach, it is not just, as I mentioned, one-to-one sitting with you. Of course, if they identify certain employability skills that can help you, things like how do you do a virtual interview? How do you, if you are not even sure what do you want, they will actually recommend you to some of these employability workshops. So one of this is this career navigator. So what happens there is that you get to do personality assessment. You get to learn how you can plan better for your career, how you can interpret that profiling result and integrate that result into your career goal, and probably tweak that career direction a bit if it's not something that suits you. The second one, in short, called CREW. In full, it is called Career Resilience Executive Workshop. This one, it is for PMETs, PMETs. Okay, in your various job search journey, especially useful for those who want to do career transitions. Or if previously you were in one industry and today you want to switch to another industry. Okay, the third one, job hunting online, it is for non-PMETs. Okay, assistant level non-PMETs who wants help in finding job. Especially in today's context, we're having so many virtual career fairs, virtual interview. So how do we handle that virtual platform in our job search journey for non-PMETs? So this job hunting online is also one of the employability workshop that the career coach will actually point you to or refer you to if you need help. Okay, but otherwise, if now you feel that, oh, I don't need a career coach, maybe not yet, but I want to do some employability training, I want to attend some of this, where can I go to? Okay, this is where, let me share with you this Win the Job series. So I've been quoting many examples, writing resume, acing interview, and negotiating salary. Actually, you can find all this in half-day workshops per topic. There are actually altogether 3. Each one is a half-day session through this Win the Job series. Okay, so if you're interested, scan the QR code, or if not, you can also take note of the bit.ly link over there, Win the Job series, and then register yourself for this complimentary employability workshop. Okay, I'll leave you a while to scan this or to take a snapshot of this slide at this point in time. Okay, so everything is complimentary, you just have to register for it. Okay, previously, because of COVID, this is done virtually, so probably now you can do this physically as well. Okay, if not, very quickly, let me go on quickly to the next segment, which I'm sharing on SkillsFuture credit. So if I ask you this question right now, how much credit do you have? Or are you aware that you have this credit even? Okay, and just to share with you, in case you have heard about things like, oh, if I don't use the credit, does it expire? Okay, so back from the beginning when this all started, by the way, since 2016, any Singaporean that turns 25 will have this opening credit of $500. So in this opening credit, if you're 24 years old this year, next year when you turn 25, you'll get this opening credit. It does not expire, number one. Number two, the top-up is periodical. So the top-up is not happening every year, but rather whenever the government announced. And so far, we have only one top-up. And thirdly, the top-up, the credits are non-transferable. Okay, this one, non-transferable. So which means if you don't want to use it, your parents don't use it, they cannot give it to you, neither can you give it to them. Okay, so this is for the opening credit. But take note, in 2020, we had all been given a top-up as long as you're Singaporean, and in 2020, you are at least 25 years old. So if you're not yet 25 back in 2020, then so sorry, you have missed this top-up. Okay, but otherwise, this top-up, take note of one thing. One key difference is that it has an expiry date. This one-off top-up that was given in 2020 will be expiring in end 2025, which means time is running out, and if you don't use it, it will expire. Okay, this $500 credit. Okay, and of course, take note, some of you may be asking, hey, I got 1,005. Why do you say 1,000 at this point? The reason is because you may have you may be in that age group of 40 to 60-year-old Singaporean. So good news for those who are 40 to 60, because if yourself you're not, then your parents may have gotten this, because we are all given this extra $500 one-off top-up. And in case you're wondering, this mid-career support top-up has what they call it. Does it expire? The answer is yes. And can I use this for learning hobby-related courses? The answer is no, because you can only use it at CET centers. Okay, continuing education and training centers. Okay, which means if out of these three, I want to learn cooking, baking, and maybe flower arrangement, I will probably not be able to touch the second top-up, this red colored here, because this is only usable at CET Center for me to learn career transitional skills, skills that enable me to change job, find new jobs. Okay. Okay, so if you have a choice which one to use, which one will you start using first? Would you use the one with the top-up, with the expiry date, or would you use the one without the expiry date, opening credit? Okay, I know you have no access to your chat, but ask yourself this question: which one will you start using first? Obviously, the one with the top-up, right? Because that is going to expire in end 2025, and you don't want to use it last minute in case you cannot find the course you want and just anyhow, take up a course. And of course, with the SkillsFuture credit, where can you use it? And very quickly, the answer is My SkillsFuture portal. And in case you're wondering right now, how many courses are supported? Okay, the answer is actually 25,000 over courses. And some of these are what earlier on the earlier speaker, Daniel has mentioned. That is one of the courses inside here as well. In the My SkillsFuture portal, 25,000 over courses inside here. How do you start accessing to it? Okay, this portal, very intuitive. In fact, one glance, you know where to find courses because it is located at the top left portion of the screen. But even before going to find courses, okay, the key thing you need to take note is always log in first. Okay, the login option is at the top right-hand corner over here. Once you are logged in, you can check how much credit you have and check out how much subsidy you are entitled to. Later on, I will show you one working example. Okay, because now I've logged in, and now if I were to search for a course, after I've clicked on this course option here, I'll be able to search by industry, area of training, or even this career transition program, which I'm not covering today, but you can explore on your own. But if you like to search for it on your own, maybe I like to search for NTUC LearningHub, or if I want to search HR, or in my case, maybe let me try something relevant to what I'm doing. Maybe I search business presentation. And you will realize I've actually enclosed the two words inside open and close inverted comma. This is one key tip that you want to take away, because if you don't put the open and close inverted comma, any courses with the word business will come out. Any courses with the word presentation will come out. But if you want this to be one keyword instead of two separate keywords, then I will use the open and close inverted comma. Click search, and then let's see how many courses came up with exactly the word business management. Okay, you'll see about 18 courses. So you can see up here, 18 courses. And if I'm interested in maybe taking a WSQ course with, in this case, NTUC LearningHub. Okay, so this costs because one thing, NTUC LearningHub. Second thing, it has quite a lot of subsidy, if you notice in the cost fee section over here. Okay, so instead of paying $650, I'm only paying $950. Why? How does it work out? And by the way, you also see things like the course information and also the duration, so on and so forth. But the key thing is this contact person over here. Anything you want to find out, call this contact person. And of course, you can also see a review of past participants for this particular course as well. Okay, so using this as an example, how do they work out 195? How do they know how much subsidy to give me? Okay, because based on my SingPass, they know that I'm certain age, I'm a Singaporean, so they give me the relevant subsidy. So for this example, $650, if you're younger than 40, maybe 25 to 39, or you are PR. So for this actual cost, you only pay 195, okay, because of the 70% subsidy you have gotten from this, okay, just by being a local. And if you're older, maybe you are Singaporean 40 years old and above, and this course qualifies for the mid-career enhanced subsidy, you only pay $65 because of, based on your age and nationality, you are entitled to this 90% course fee subsidy. But if you have a SkillsFuture credit, you can actually use your credit to offset this amount so that at the end of the day, you don't have to pay anything from your own pocket. Okay, that's a good deal, right? So this is one way to stretch your credit, but don't sign up just because it's cheap. Make sure that it meets your training needs. Okay, and very quickly, the last part before, last tip before I hand over back to Delia is these icons that you'll probably spot when you go and surf for courses, these two color icons especially. The first one, you will see SFC, SkillsFuture Credit Claimable Courses. It will appear on all the courses because all the courses in this portal is SkillsFuture Credit Claimable. The second icon you'll see is this orange SFS icon. What is SFS? So if you're somebody like me, I want to start learning data analytics, but I got zero knowledge. Where can I start? How can I go about doing it? Okay, this is where SFS come in. Because SkillsFuture series is a curation of 8 areas. They call this the emerging skill area. The first one, cybersecurity. Second, finance. Thirdly, entrepreneurship. Fourth, digital media. Fifth, data analytics. 6, urban solutions. 7, advanced manufacturing. And lastly, tech-enabled services. So if you want to get started in a future emerging skill, look out for the orange icon, SFS. Number 2, there is a way to get started at the beginner stage. So you can go beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Good thing is that it is short, 1 day, few days. And if you don't like the course, you can start at beginning, basic. If you like it, you can go further into intermediate or even advanced. So the commitment level is lower. And thirdly, you can be entitled to 70% course fee subsidy just by being local. So when you see the orange icon, you know that you only pay 30% because of this subsidy. Okay, and of course, you can pay using your SkillsFuture credit. Okay, so the last important information I'll leave you with is that actually there are 2 websites. The one that I've shown you is My SkillsFuture portal. It is a portal whereby you log in with a SingPass, check out how much credit you have, and to sign up for courses using that credit. The other portal is this skillsfuture.gov.sg. This is like encyclopedia of all the initiatives that are inside there and how can you go about applying for it and the FAQ, so on and so forth. Something for you to refer to. Okay, so with that, I've basically came to the end of my sharing and I will now hand over back to Delia. Okay, if there's no question. Delia, over to you.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for sharing about the SkillsFuture credit and how we can utilize on it. I think for all our participants here, I think especially when you're really wondering like what to do next, I would highly suggest that maybe you can talk to a career coach. Also check out the SkillsFuture, what kind of courses that you'd be interested in to really see how you can either pivot in your career or maybe come back to the workforce. So these are areas where you might want to consider. Let me share my screen to share more about how the labor movement is trying to enable women. So we have all-in-one support for training, mentoring, and jobs to share with you. Okay. As part of this, we actually at the NTUC Women and Family, we started the Women Supporting Women Mentorship Program. So if you want to talk to a career coach, or you want to talk to maybe another woman who has gone through such a change, a career change and everything, we actually have this mentorship program that we can guide you, and also to talk to a fellow peer so that you can be another sounding board as to whether this is something that you want to pursue, or is this something where you can explore as well. So do think about it. We have we have women peer support in how you can have professional development in the different areas, as well as if you are planning on coming back to work and you're still really considering whether you can take the next big step to come back to the workforce. So we have this supporting program that is complimentary, and we really welcome any homemakers, home-based caregivers who want to re-enter the workforce, or any mid-career professional who are seeking your next steps in professional career, to just have another sounding board of a fellow female to share with you. So you can also register at our NTUC Women and Families Women Supporting Women program. And lastly, I would like to also share that we have this program called a progressive job portal that is targeting women returners. And why is this so unique? This progressive, we only have what we call progressive employers on this portal. And this progressive portal, we only feature jobs from these employers who have adopted relevant tripartite standards that support you in your caregiving needs, implemented some kind of managing workplace harassment policy so that when you go back to the workforce or you start a new organization, you feel very safe to work in. And also these employers have schemes that really can support your caregiving needs. So we are actually having this career fair. So do scan this code and look for some of the roles. So if you are wondering whether we have a HR role, we actually have a HR role from one of our partners that's already in this portal. So do check it out, and you'd like to know more. So now we've come to the last part of our segment, that is a Q&A. So do drop your questions into the box, and let me see what questions we have. So we have Jack Xia, who's a homemaker for 20 years, but have been upgrading herself. She's attained a license in financial consultant, diploma in early childhood development, and a WSQ in cleaning with supervisory. Wow, Jack, you really have quite a lot of diplomas, and you've completed a WSQ Diploma in HR and completed in bridging SHR. Would you like to see you would like to see somebody in E2I, a WSQ, are they the same in E2I? Is a WSQ career consultant same as E2I career consultant? Brian, would you like to address this question?
Okay, sure. Thank you, Jack, for the question. I think it's very relevant. The services provided by both agencies are the same. Okay, just like between choosing E2I West at Devon Nair Institute or E2I Central at Toa Payoh HDB Hub, which one do you choose? Probably choose one that's near a house. Okay, so coming from E2I, I know the benefits that you can be sent to an employability workshop and also the wealth of that network. But otherwise, WSQ also provides the same services. So it's up to you probably to choose one nearer to your home. Hope that answers your question.
We've come to nearly, if you have any other questions, do feel free to type into the chat board so that we can just address some of your questions. Maybe we'll give 1 or 2 minutes. I think I see some questions where Noraini shared that she's interested in the photo shoot and she's wondering when it starts.
Okay, for the photo shoot, it's actually only provided for people who take up this particular program itself. So unless you are joining this program, this WSQ Diploma in HR program, yeah, then we will, once you have enrolled for it, our placement team in NTUC LearningHub will actually work with you to arrange for the photo shoot. All right. I hope that answer. Yeah.
And Daniel, that's somebody who's asking, is a diploma in HR management course from HRM? Is a diploma in HR management course from SHRM? Is it certified by SHRM?
Okay. So if you recall just now what I have shared, right, is that WSQ Diploma in HR is the one that we are is the base program that we are running. All right. Only after you have completed the WSQ Diploma in HR, you go and to attempt the 8 bridging assessments. After the 8 bridging assessment, which costs $20 for each, all right, then you will, if you have completed them successfully, SHRM will confer you with that diploma, with that advanced diploma in HRM, and that is from SHRM. Okay. Yep. I have seen another question. I have diploma in early childhood and engineering. I shifted to India after marriage. I want to settle back in Singapore. I have 12 years of previous work experience. But there's no I would like to re-enter into the workforce and keen in being a HR professional. Okay, so I think Joel has actually is typing an answer to this participant. Most probably is to tell these participants to reach out to Joel and her team to so that they can actually work it out with her on how to schedule her program itself. All right. After I gotten WSQ HR diploma, what's the starting salary? Okay, frankly speaking, I can't answer. It all depends on the organization that accept you. All right. I don't want to give you any promise over here, but so I cannot answer. But unless you are taking up this WSQ diploma together, eventually after you completed, then you want to proceed on with the career conversion program in HR. All right. Now, if you have completed WSQ diploma in HR and got enrolled into the career conversion program, when I say enrolled for the career conversion program, what it means is that a company or an employer have interviewed you and placed you within their organization and start you on this particular program itself. What it means is that you can expect a minimum salary of 2,008 per month. All right. So don't get it wrong. Doesn't mean you today say, hey, I'm Daniel. So doesn't mean today I tell Joel, say that, hey, I want to participate in this career conversion program. Straight away, I will get the 2,008. No, it's not the case. It's only when employer interviewed me, say that, okay, they want to take Daniel into this particular program under place and under this, it wants to accept me as their employee under this career conversion program. All right, that's when I can expect a salary of 2,008. All right, so please do not misunderstand this portion. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I have missed out the virtual career fair for women. Can you send me the link or the slide or link? So, Delia, I think this is for you, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Shauna, for the question. What we'll do is we'll consolidate and get our colleagues at NTUC LearningHub to consolidate all the slides, and then you can have it. We'll send it over to you.
I see one more question. Can I look at it as internship? I think you are referring to the career conversion program, right? No, I don't take it as an internship because once you are placed successfully, that means you are enrolled successfully into this particular program itself. It's no longer an internship. You can expect as a proper career in HR. Okay. However, what it means is that, okay, companies who take part in this particular program has to agree that they will take in the participants, okay, as an employer for at least 12 months. Okay, so normally what I shared with participants who wants to take out this program is they must also play a part. Put it this way, everyone must play a part in making this as a successful relationship, because you cannot expect that to go into the organization and then not contributing as much, and the organization will just keep because under this program they will just have to continue with the employment. No, it will also your performance also determines in that aspect. All right, so it's not really an internship. You are really receiving a salary. Benefits is as per a normal employee, so it's not an internship. All right. Okay, so I hope I have answered that query. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I think I don't see any more new questions coming in. We've come to the end of the webinar, actually, supporting women's first steps back to the workforce. And I hope you have enjoyed the session. Do share with us your thoughts, and we will be consolidating some of the slides for you and we'll be sending it over to your email address. So please do keep a lookout. Should you have any questions, do connect back with us. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for all our speakers for speaking and sharing, and I hope we've addressed some of your questions. With that, we'll log off. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.